Welcome back to part 9C of the roleplay server tutorial. In this section we're going to be discussing and adding and locking and unlocking of houses, and then we will also be making a change to the make house command to set you automatically back to the exterior positions, because otherwise you'll just get stuck inside. So we'll do that first. So if we go into houses and go up to our create house command, make house command, what we will do here, above here, it's going to be set player position, player ID, h create exterior 0, h create exterior 1, and h create exterior 2, and then set player facing angle, player ID, h create exterior 3. Then we'll set our interior and virtual world to 0, just so then we're fully clear, and that's it. Compile that, and that's fine. Now what we want to also add in is we need to go into our variables, enums and defines, and go down to house data. Below house price, type house locked, and here inside of this as well, inside houses, what we need to do is go into the SQL save house to DB and just set this to 0, so house data house locked is equal to 0, and we need to go into loading the houses. So come here and go house data I+1 house locked is equal to cache get field content int I locked SQL connection. Now we haven't created this in a database yet, but we will do that shortly. Actually now we can do that now. So if you go into here, into your tutorial database or whatever you've called it, and go into the structure of houses, add 1 after price or after whatever you've got at the bottom here, and then just call it locked as an integer with a default value of 0. Save that, go back to your structure, and you will see that there is a new row. That's the house I created, the test house. What I'm going to do, just so we can see what happens, is I'm going to go into my players and I'm going to set the money of this to 1,000, just so then we've got it. Now if we go into our general commands and go to /enter, now what we need to do is check this. So if house data I house locked is equal to 0, otherwise it is locked, else return send client message, player ID color white, this house is locked. Now we don't need to do this on exit, but you can add it if you want to make it so that you have to climb out of the window. That is your choice, I will leave that up to you. If we go here, compile, now the house locking is done. Well, no, it's not actually. I need to actually create the command to lock the house. Now if we go down to the bottom and go here, we need to command lock, player ID, parameters, return true. I'm going to actually change this to lock house. Inside of the publics, I'm going to go to the very bottom and I'm going to add in get nearest house ID to the player ID, and we'll add a float range with a default value of 5.0. So yeah, now we'll put new ID is equal to -1, and then we'll return ID. But in here we need to do for new I is equal to 0, I below max houses, I plus plus, and then if house data I house ID doesn't equal to 0, if get notice player in range of point player ID range house data I house hold on, what have I saved it as? House exterior, yeah, that's right. 0, and do what we usually do with these and just copy paste paste paste, so you've got it 3 times, and then just change 1 and 2. Now we'll put ID is equal to I, and then we'll break that, and then that only returns 1 and not constantly doing lots of things. We'll get a warning because we've not used it, but what we need to go back into here and make a check of if count player houses player ID is equal to 0, we will return a message of this: you do not own a house. We'll also add in for the a check for the logged in command. And then new ID is equal, well actually, if get, I'll copy that, if get nearest house ID to the player of 5, so we'll just leave that default, is equal to -1, we will return a message again. Alright, you're not near to any houses. And then what we will do is new ID is equal to get nearest house ID. If house data ID house owner SQL doesn't equal to the player data player ID PSQL ID, we will return a message. Color white. You do not own this house. Otherwise we're good to go. So no, actually, if house data ID house locked is equal to 1, we will return an error again saying this house is already locked. Now we're good to go. Let's clear that up a wee bit. So house data ID house locked is equal to 1. Save SQL int house data ID house ID houses locked 1. You don't need to define the whole lot of it because we're actually setting it to a static value and not a dynamic. So that's that done. Now all we need to do is format string size of string. We haven't defined this yet, but we will. And then you have locked the doors of your house and the house name, so that will be house data ID house name. So this is a client message to the player, color yellow string. Now up here, all we need to do is string 128. If we go into general commands and look for command me, we can also add an annotated message in. So we could either call this command or we could just format an extra string, or your choice. But what I will do, I will call the command. So we'll go back into houses, and under here we will do command me, player ID, and this, the parameters will be locks the doors of their house. Now compile that and you got your lock command. Now I'm going to make this easier on you all. All you need to do is copy the command and paste it below, and then just type unlock house. You can keep that the same, you can keep that the same, keep that the same, you can keep that the same. Now you just change this bit to 0, this bit to 0, and this bit to 0, and then you just change locked to unlocked, and unlocks the doors of their house. Now that's it, that's the locking done. I'll keep that there. Pause your video if you want to, just write it out separately. Let's go back into here. How long have we been recording for? 11 minutes, not too bad. Now part 9C, that's done. So what I'm going to do whilst I'm on the video, I'm going to actually add this into an archive. It just keeps it for a later date for me, and then this bit can be clear and we can read it properly. Now next we're going to cover in owned vehicles, only the loading part, and then we'll have to add in the dynamic dealerships and then the vehicle purchasing. Other than that, that is this section complete. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe and come back for more. I will see you next time.